This is a letter written by Bruce Lee to himself, defining his definite chief aim in his life. He wanted to be the number one Oriental movie star and have a net worth of $10 million. This was written in the year 1969, and at the time of his death, he had achieved both his goals. This letter is a proof that Bruce Lee used the techniques mentioned in the book Think and Grow Rich to manifest the life of his dreams. This is the proof that Bruce Lee used the techniques mentioned in the book Think and Grow Rich to manifest the life of his dreams. In this video, we're going to look at this beautifully simple technique that he used to focus his mind and as a result achieve his dreams. We all have a variety of desires. Some are deep desires and the others are surface level impulses. The pursuit of these deep desires is what gives us satisfaction and self-confidence. But how can we differentiate between these two? Well, the character trait of a strong desire is how much do we think about it, and what are the emotions that come in our body when we have these thoughts. When we go through the day, our subconscious mind throws random thoughts into our conscious mind. Research says that we can have 60,000 thoughts in a day, and up to 90% of these thoughts are repetitive in nature. What if there was a technique that can help us change the content of these random thoughts, and at the same time, associate strong positive emotions to these thoughts? Well, this is exactly the kind of effect that can be expected when using the technique that Bruce Lee used. Let's look at what it is now, and later we will look at the principles behind this technique. If you have spent any time researching the law of attraction, you would have come across this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It came out in 1937 and has stood the test of time. It has been recommended by a long list of famous people: Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy. The list keeps going on. And for me, the most exciting example in this list is Bruce Lee, because we have access to his writing and he is also known to be a deep thinker. So if he has adopted this technique, he must have thought a lot about it. Napoleon Hill proposed that the starting point of all achievement is desire. He said, for you to attain your goals, you have to turn your desire into a burning desire. And to do that, he gave us a simple 6-step formula, which literally takes 5 minutes to implement. Let's go through these steps one by one while looking at Bruce Lee's letter so that we can see how he has implemented this for himself. Step 1. Fix the exact amount of money that you want in your mind. And this does not have to be just money. This can also be any other desire that you have. We can see in this letter where he says, I, Bruce Lee, will be the first highest paid Oriental superstar in the United States. This is his definite chief aim. This is what he wanted to acquire. Along with this, later on in this letter, he says, I will have in my possession $10 million. Step 2. Determine exactly what you want to give in return for this money. We go back to the letter and it says, in return, I will give the most exciting performances and render the best of quality in the capacity of an actor. Step 3. Establish a fixed date when this shall be yours. In the letter he says, starting 1970, I will achieve world fame, and from then onward till the end of 1980, I will have in my possessions $10 million. So here we can see that he has fixed the time of his achievement. We know that his life was cut short much before that, but he was still able to achieve his dreams in a much shorter time span than he intended for himself. Step 4. Create a plan and start acting on it immediately, whether you are ready or not. We don't see any mention of a specific plan that he put in place, but I think that is a good thing, because the universe works in mysterious ways, and we need to allow for serendipity to take its place. So we can have a general outline of how we are going to achieve something, but stressing out about the exact plan is not the point of this technique. Although he did have another letter that he wrote to himself, which generally outlined his mindset that he would have to achieve his goals. You can pause the video and look at this letter now. Step 5, we bring this all together. We write a concise statement of the exact amount, time limit for it, what you intend to give in exchange, and the plan for accomplishing it. So basically, the first 4 steps combined together, written on a piece of paper. Step 6. Read your written statement twice per day, once when you wake up and once immediately before you go to bed. And when you do, you have to see and feel yourself being in possession of the money already. So you have to do a visualization exercise. And that's it. So it would take some thinking to write the statement, but after that, to practice it in your everyday life, it takes 5 minutes. And that's the beauty of this technique. I don't remember if there is an exact name for this technique, but I call it my manifestation statement. Now, I want to talk about the principles behind why this technique is so powerful. As the saying goes, methods are many, principles are few. Methods keep changing, principles never do. When we understand the principle behind why something that we do works, not only are we more motivated to do this, but we are better equipped at adapting it to our own specific needs. I have broken this down into 2 parts. First, we look at how exactly this helps us increase our desire. And second, why an increased desire helps us achieve those goals. When we say this manifestation statement, first thing when we wake up and the last thing before bed, we are seeding our subconscious because these are highly suggestible states of minds. As a result, more of our random thoughts that the subconscious throws in our conscious mind are going to be about these goals. The second part of this technique is the visualization technique, in which we have to feel and see that we have already acquired what we want. What happens when we do this is we start attaching strong, positive, emotional response to these thoughts, eventually rewiring our brain to feel good when we are in pursuit of these goals. In other words, you're going to think more about your goals and you're going to feel better when you do that instead of these other surface level desires. Now that we know how this technique helps us intensify our desires, let's look at how it is a good thing. Think of any famous athlete. You can clearly see how intense their desire is to be the best in their sport. This helps them put in the long hours of training that is needed to achieve their goals. It makes discipline easier for them. Not only that, it is a well documented fact that the subconscious mind is much better than the conscious mind when it comes to creative problem solving. So when the subconscious mind becomes focused and saturated with the thoughts of success, it gets directed towards the problems that you will need to solve to get to your goals. Practically, what it looks like is, instead of reminding us of all the cringe things that we have done right before bed, our mind is going to give us solutions at very odd moments. Finally, I wanted to talk about some subtle nuances to the implementation of this technique. First of all, we do not have to put our definite chief aim in life. A lot of us have not figured that out yet, and this can put a lot of pressure. What I have done personally is put in my goals for this quarter. You can play around with this. As long as this goal is something that drives strong positive emotional response, you're good. Second, try to keep this simple so that it only takes a minute to read this in the morning. One way to do this is to write it on a piece of paper so that it does not become this lengthy document. You can keep this paper right next to your bed so the habit of reading it before bed and first thing when you wake up becomes effortless. And last, don't worry about being perfect with this statement. My approach with this is to write a statement and read this for a week. If at the end of the week I feel like I can make some changes, if I've gotten some more clarity about this, then I can make a change and then follow it for the next week. Over time, you will figure out what gives you energy and what is a good prompt for your visualizations. With this, I end this video. I will be making more law of attraction videos. I am very interested in this topic and I want to share what I've been learning. So if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing. Thanks a lot for watching this video till the end. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take it easy.